It is Derek from New Orleans. Hello.
Hello. Hey, guys. I watch your show every week. I try to watch on YouTube because I'm from New Orleans, but I say you guys do a good job. But my question is, I'm a philosophy major, and I study philosophy a lot, and I come across they did a study on chimpanzees that said they have morality, but it was kind of iffy. It says that the stepping stones of morality, and that is our closest ancestor, of course. And this would come into conflict with Christianity, who says that only man has morality. And I was wondering if you know anything about the studies on chimpanzees, if they're conclusive, if they have morality or not.
What do you call morality?
What do I call morality?
Yeah.
It would be hard to define, but to me, it would be making a decision on right or wrong, regardless of consequences of any reward.
Okay.
It can't be instinctual. If it's an instinct for like an animal to care for its young, that can't be morality.
So you don't think wait, do human beings have an instinct to care for their young?
Yeah, but that's not. I don't consider that morality.
So if a mother doesn't care for her young, you don't consider that immoral? Like if she left it to die.
But you can't in separating animals from human beings, like a dog taking care of a puppy. A dog doesn't have morality. That can't be considered morality because it's an instinct.
But not all dogs take care of their puppies, and not all humans take care of their children.
Right, I get that.
So I guess I'm asking, what's the difference between a human caring for their child and a dog caring for its child?
What's the difference between a human caring?
Yeah, what do you think drives a mother to care for her child if it's not an instinctive response?
What do I think that it cares for them?
Yeah.
There's some science behind it. Another part of its evolution, the mammals needed to take care of their young for us to get to where we are.
That's instinct.
Right.
So in humans, that's also instinct.
Right.
Well, I wouldn't say that all of our morality is instinct. I think there is.
I agree. I do think, though, that it is instincts that are derived from evolution that drive moral decisions.
Certainly. We have certain hardwiring in our brain that makes us cringe at the thought of killing someone.
In my opinion,
or actively harming someone.
Morality is, you have, for example, in nature, some animals that do not live in groups. Those animals have no need for morality because they don't interact with other members of their group. As soon as an animal has to live in a group, it becomes imperative that that group figure out what the rules are going to be and work to enforce those rules. And they do. In nature, not every animal does what every other animal in the group wants it to do.
But see, the difference between here would be like a dog. I can train a dog to bite someone.
I can train a person to kill.
Right, but then there are human beings that have the capability to say, no, this is wrong, and dog wouldn't be able to do that.
I can train a dog to not jump on the couch, and when I'm out in the store, it will. Right?
If you train a pit bull to bite every single person, it's not going to have the morality to say no.
I'm just saying that dogs don't always do what they're trained automatically. They're not like robots.
The pretty system response is pretty high.
I would say it's similar in people, though. I mean, culturization to me, when people are uncultured, I see that as like a high level of training where they don't even think about what they're doing or why.
Right.
Well, there's a number of aspects here, right? There's the whole idea of are you intelligent enough to make your own decisions? That's one aspect. There's the whole group. You know, are you adhering to the group's rules? And there's really sort of a culture in organizations that have or social animals, right?
Correct.
There's the whole idea of reputation, right? Once you have animals that are smart enough to remember that you have done something, then you start having a reputation,
right.
And your actions have longer-term consequences, and so they become more important.
I always use the example of wolves, though. I remember watching a documentary where there was a pack of wolves, and one of the wolves, you have the alpha male and the alpha female that can mate. The rest of the pack does not mate. So when they were out hunting, there was one male that stayed behind. He tried to mate with the alpha female, and when the pack came back and caught him, they attacked him, but they just sort of let it at that. So it was sort of like a warning, I guess you'd call it.
Okay.
After
this particular study was what it was. They had one monkey in one cage and one monkey in the other. One monkey was chained up to electricity wires. If the first monkey went to grab food, it would electrocute the other monkey. The monkey saw this and would not eat.
I'm pretty sure rats will do that as well.
Wait, what?
I think rats do that as well.
Well, you know, I guess another component of our empathy, of our morality is empathy.
Correct.
Right? Is understanding, projecting ourselves into the other person or the other being, right?
Right, but I mean, people have this idea that animals do not weigh consequences when they make a decision, and they do. I mean, that's
Well, I
why.
think some animals do. I think it will come with the ability to reason, but I don't think a dog would do that. If you would get the same decision to a dog, I don't think you would
A
do
dog
that.
is a little bit weird because it's a domestic animal, but if you look at wolves, they do respond to the pack punishments and the pack regulations. And the wolf example I was using, when that one wolf kept trying to usurp the alpha male, but he kept doing it in a way that was unacceptable, and the pack kept attacking him. Finally, they chased him out of the territory, and they would not let him back into the pack.
Right.
But at one point, he came into the territory and challenged the alpha male, and none of the other animals in that pack stopped him. So I don't know
Right.
what it was in their head that said this challenge is okay versus you're not allowed to come into the territory. But they allowed him to come back, challenge the alpha male, and then he actually won and became the alpha male. But
Right.
here he was trying to do it the wrong way, and the pack enforced that as the wrong way. And then when he went about doing it the correct way, they allowed it. I don't know how to explain that, but it looks an awful lot like what people do.
Right. We talk about this a lot in philosophy. I don't think a wolf would ever do the thing with a monkey. I think monkeys have morality in some, but I don't think a dog do. I think it's kind of like a stepping stone. I am an atheist. I'm not, but I just think that this whole morality argument is essential to kind of dethroning theism in a way. It's just like they think that only human beings have morality, and I don't think that's true.
Well,
I don't agree with you that wolves have morality.
Well,
I think all
it's
social
mostly
animals have it.
I think the challenge here is trying to draw a line, right? There's a lot of things in the real world that are gray, you know, and I think that this is one of them. I think there are rudiments of that in a lot of animals, and I think social animals, but as you were saying, Tracie, are animals that kind of have to have that
Yes.
in order for things to work right. Another one is, you know, when is a person a human? That's another very gray thing, and we are never going to agree about, you know, from, you know, conception to, you know, 2 years old when the baby has some concept of itself. That's a big giant gray area, and certain people want to say, oh, this is black and white, and the line is right here, and I don't think you can do that with morality either. I think that those are both
Well, I think
two.
the first question is to define it. To me, when something can understand rules and can understand behaviors that are acceptable, behaviors that aren't acceptable, and it can adhere to those behaviors, and then it's demonstrating to me that it grasps a concept, even if it doesn't grasp the concept of exactly why a behavior is wrong, other than the society will enforce it. They're getting that this behavior is okay and this behavior is not, and they will follow that to a degree, but they will also rebel against it sometimes. So they are thinking about this. I mean, they are weighing what I want versus what the group will accept. And I think that's what.
Part of my question is, what is the theist response to this? That, you know, some animals have morality, whether or not we both agree on which animals do and which ones don't. I think from a scientific basis, overall that some animals do. What is the response to this? I mean, have you had any callers on this?
I think they say something similar to what you're saying, in that they see the same thing happening with people, but they say it must be different. I mean,
Must be different.
Yeah,
that
they
it's different. We're doing it because we
and draw
think
a
about
line.
it, but other animals aren't thinking; they're just robots. And I totally disagree with that. But I've
Well,
heard
no, I
them
agree
say
that
that.
some. I just don't think that wolves do. I think that monkeys and elephants and some that with the ability to reason do, but I don't think that wolves do. I think it's more of a rules thing and something that for instinct with the pack.
Well, that may be something we just disagree on.
Yeah,
you know,
because
but,
I think we're driven
but
on
I think
instinct
I
as
think
well.
we are agreeing on the fact that other animals show signs of it, and
Right. No, I
and
totally
many
agree with
many
that.
other
I just,
animals
you know,
do.
rather draw a line. We have this debate in philosophy. It comes from a biological. What's morality? What doesn't count as morality? Talk about this all the time. We even had a science major come rather than talk about this. And actually, she was a girl. She similar you did, and we were just arguing back and forth. It did come to the conclusion that animals do, whether or not which ones they do or don't is irrelevant. I think I just don't understand how they could ignore that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, and
that's what I'm
it's
trying to say.
it's dangerous to attribute human characteristics to other animals, to say, oh, they feel happy about this or they feel whatever. It's dangerous to do that, and so I think one of the challenges in these studies is to make sure it really is something like a human moral code, and not just some sort of invention of the people doing the observations. And so that's another area where it's dangerous, I think.
But even our own morality, when you strip out things that are enculturated or that are, and it's hard to, I mean, I understand that you're always going to have some level of culture, but when you're going through like higher laws, like for example, copyright laws, but when you're talking about a basic level of morality, about, don't hit somebody, don't go around killing other people in your society. I mean, this is, to me, par for a wolf pack. That is the level of morality they're operating on, and to me, that's the level of morality that is required for a society. You can build on that if you want to get to copyright laws, but really, the basic moral instinct of killing other people in your society that you rely on to survive in is not a good idea. But when people aren't killing, I don't think that's necessarily what they're thinking. I think they just don't think to kill everybody in their society. But I think the reason is that from an evolutionary standpoint, we've developed empathy and sympathy and compassion, just like other...
Yeah, we need to rely on each other so we can get where we are. I agree.
But I don't think that most people think about it. I don't think we sit there and say, the reason I don't kill everyone else is because it would be detrimental to myself.
Or worse, when we asked, we may invent rationalizations for why we do certain things.
That's true too.
A lot of this stuff is hard-coded in our brains, and there's a recent area of study called I can't remember. But it's basically
science and philosophy can grasp the bridge and what is morality and what isn't morality at some point. I think they need to plug back in, but this seems to be exclusive at this point. One has one definition, one has the other.
Yeah, I do think there's a lot of theists that write to us that claim that human beings are uniquely moral, and I think they're wrong.
I agree.
And I also think that there's some that would just simply sidestep it and say, oh, God just put those instincts into those animals and they're not really thinking. But I don't think that flies when you look at behavioral psychology in animals.
I mean, the study with that I just said, it just explains that. The monkey would just starve to death so he would let another monkey, because he didn't want the other monkey to get shot. I think, to me, that's morality.
It's empathy, and that's the same, but people will see that and they'll say it's operating on some different mechanism. And I guess my question is, when you see somebody doing something that you do, what makes you think they're doing it for a different reason other than you're just egocentric?
Right, meaning, the meaning you're doing it because you don't want someone to do that to you.
It is kind of sad that you would have to prove, that I would have to prove that I did what you did for the same reason if it was the same reason. I mean, I understand it might not be. I understand one day they might find that that's not true. Like when vivisection was in vogue, part of that philosophy was that animals don't really feel pain, they're just acting like they're in pain. And I mean, when you're seeing an animal crying and screaming and flailing, to sit there and say, yeah, it's acting like I would act if I was in pain, but there's no proof that it's in pain, so therefore it's not. It's like, well, the demonstration should make you assume that this is what you would be doing for a similar reason until and then when you demonstrate, I think you go with like and like, and then you try to demonstrate otherwise. But to just make the assumption that this can't possibly be real pain because it's not like me, I don't know where that comes from.
Seems cruel to me.
It is cruel.
Yeah. Anything else, Derrick?
I would like anything else. I just like question if the Grand Design came out, if y'all would one of y'all would read that and just if y'all have some reviews on it, but nothing on.
I'm not familiar with it.
Well, I haven't read it yet. I think that's Hawking's new book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Stephen Hawking's book is supposed to be a big deal. I haven't read it yet. I'm going to get to it, but I think if y'all did a show on it, that would be really cool. But
okay. We'll take that as a suggestion. Thank you very much, Derrick.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.